he had one thought: I'll fix the Philistines. As we get to reading in the story and stuff, we'll get to unfolding why he wanted to fix the Philistines and stuff. He was neither concerned for God's glory nor for the well-being of his people Israel. He wanted to satisfy his fleshly desire for revenge. That's the only thing Samson was out to do, Brother Mark. And that's the reason we get revenge. A lot of times the reason we get revenge is because we want to be satisfied. There's this, every human's like this, but I'd say men is more like this, because if they do something to me and I don't get revenge, or if I don't go back and get something on them, they'll think they can push over me. The whole time, the old devil, he's talking to us. They'll come in, they'll try to do this to me, they'll take over. So, I'm not going to let them do that. So revenge sets in on us. As we start right here in the 15th chapter, the first verse, it says, but it came to pass that within a while after, after right there, it says, but it came to pass within a while after. Samson, as we started talking in the 14th chapter, he got mad. He got mad because his wife had turned him back over, that his future wife was fixing to turn him back over and told what his secret was. He left him a riddle and stuff. So in the 14th chapter, we got to think, or he started telling us that she told him what his riddle and stuff was. So it says hereafter, he got to thinking. It said, I've been mad long enough, so, I'm going back. I'm going to go back down here and get my wife and stuff. It says in the time of wheat harvest. So now why is this wheat harvest mentioned here? Well, there's two things. It was either that it was that long that he had left his wife, or that he was in the story on what he was fixing to do to the Philistines, what he was fixing to set out to do to them. So it says that in a while, that Samson visited his wife with a kid, with a goat. In other words, this goat at this time represented like roses that you give your wife. But at this time, it was a peace offering. He said, well, if I take this kid down, he'd be sort of like a peace offering. She won't be mad at me no more. So all this stuff will be over with. Says, and it'll all be, this is the way that I can do it and show her that I still love her too. And it says, and he said, I will go in to my wife into the chambers. But her father would not suffer him to go. He wouldn't allow him to go because months had passed within communication with his wife. Because months had went on. So in other words, he told him, no, she ain't your wife no more. I give her away. Second chapter says, and her father said, I verily thought that thou hast utterly hated her. I thought you hated her. I thought you had left her because she had done this, because she told your secrets and stuff, so I turned her over. So he explained, I was so sure that you hated her, that you didn't love her no more because you had left her and stuff. So I give her the therefore, he said, I gave her to your companion. In other words, I gave her to your friends. She's no longer your wife. But he said, I've got another one. He said, is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. Take her sister, in other words, because she's done married, she's done went off with your other friends and stuff, so she's not yours no more. He says that I gave to your friends. The father suggested a solution that he hoped would be acceptable. So he offered her the younger sister. He offered the younger sister to Samson. But you know what? It says, and Samson said concerning them. However, Samson was offended, and someone must pay. He got offended by him giving her away. So someone's got to pay for what the father-in-law done this time. It says, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines? May I be more blameless? They've done this thing. They're the one that went and told what they would do to her and her son. Why am I blameless? Why did he give her away? But he said, somebody must pay. So that's when his revenge started setting in on him and stuff. Though I do to them though I do them a displeasure, even though that they didn't have nothing to do with this. You know, the Philistines didn't have it. He got mad. He left. So they thought that he wasn't coming back. He thought, hey, he ain't coming back. Do you know what had happened? The enemy got to working on his mind just like he does us sometimes. We get this stuff said in our mind and stuff to where 15 and 4 now. Sorry.
Judges 15.
15 and 4.
Judges.
Sorry about that. I get carried away sometimes. And I didn't see my computer lady up here, so I didn't. But sorry about that. But anyway, you know, he thought that her father had done give her away, or the Philistines had caused all this. He says, though I do to them displeasure, I'm going to do something to them because of this and stuff. It says, and he had set out a band on fire. He led them going into the standing corn of the Philistines and burned up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyard and the olives. So he said, what I'll do, I'll do this, and I'll burn their corn and stuff down. There was 4 reasons he was targeted to destroy their economy. So he said, I'll burn their corn, the standing corn, the shocks of the harvest grain, the vineyards, the olive groves. In doing so, Samson insulted their god Dagon, who was known as the god of grain and harvest. So in other words, he insulted them. I'll burn all this stuff. And what they'll do, they won't have the intention to gain nothing. Because this is the way they really depend on what they have in their economy and stuff. So I'll do to them what they've done to me, because they caused my wife to run off with another man and stuff. It says, then the Philistines said, who had done this? Who has done this to us? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to another companion. Say they knew. Say his father-in-law had done told him, she's done gone on. You'll have to give her sister or whatever. But see, the Philistines thought that he was married to this lady. Hey, it was the Timnite, the son-in-law. It was the son-in-law that done this. The Philistines raged. Here their revenge started in. They apparently would have agreed with Samson that the girl was indeed his wife. So he come back, but her father-in-law had done gave her away. But the Philistines said that they didn't know this. So then, all along, Samson thought he'd take revenge on the Philistines because they caused this. So it's a back and forth situation. You know, a lot of times that's what revenge does. It's a never-ending thing. Hey, they done me like this, I'll do them like that. They say, well, he done me like that. And it's a back and forth situation. So they thought, you know, instead of taking revenge on Samson for his actions, they took revenge on the cause of Samson's action, because he had done this. It says because he had done this. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. They got revenge. They got revenge back because of what they had done. Because of what Samson had done to them. He had destroyed all their fields and stuff. They burnt her and her family, burnt her and her father to death. See, in the story before that they done told her, she had told the riddle and stuff to him what they was going to do. So he probably got mad and came back and set in and started this burning and stuff. You know, he probably thought back, hey, my wife told these people this stuff, the riddle. That made me mad, so I left. She come back now to her father-in-law and give her away. He thought that they might give her to the Philistines. So he was going to take revenge on the Philistines. So when he took revenge on them, they burnt the family. They burnt the daughter and the mother, or the father. And he said, you know, and Samson said unto them, though you have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. In other words, after I do this one more time to young's, I'll quit. But it just keeps going on and on and on. It says Samson's, now this was Samson's revenge. Samson